Representative Bell, you had your hand up first.
Madam Chair, I just want to make a motion to limit debate.
That's a proper motion. Let me hear it.
Motion to limit debate to 5 minutes each side,
Not including closing.
not including closing.
All right. The motion. I always have to check here. That is a non-debatable motion. The motion is to limit debate to 5 minutes for each side. That does not include closing. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. But the ayes have it. Hang on just a second. We've got to set a timer now. Okay. Representative Hickerson, you had a question? No, ma'am. Representative Hutchison?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sir, so, in small talk here, you're talking about executive orders only, not.
No. This would include areas such as, I can give you some examples. It would affect gun rights in the state of Arkansas. It would reflect same-sex marriage laws in the state of Arkansas. It would reflect whether or not Sharia would be mandated to be practiced or taught in the public schools. It would reflect election governance. It would reflect a vast area of what are typically state powers.
What's your main purpose for this, then?
The main purpose for this is to restore the balance of powers. That's why the act is called that. It's part of the federalist system of governance that, in the original contemplation, you had a coalition of states which were very sovereign and very independent, who joined to form a federal government that had enumerated powers. And so that's what's the point of the balance of powers, is to make sure that the plenary power of the state is protected and that you have an avenue of political infrastructure that you can use that will allow you to get a clear and bright line adjudication for any of these factors. I'll give you another example where it's going to come to where I think you're going to see it happen here in Arkansas. You just had a measure that was the only initiative to make it to the ballot on medical marijuana. Now, the medical marijuana issue just passed in Washington. When that passed, we have an issue of where the state is issuing permits to people for marijuana. But the last case in the Commerce Clause that came out of the U.S. Supreme Court, which is Gonzalez versus Raich, in that case, they ruled specifically on marijuana that they had powers under the Commerce Clause to enforce against that. So you're going to see this both in the election law and you're going to see it in the marijuana law. Both things will come before you. And this Balance of Powers Act says it's not going to do anything other than the legislature will say, we've decided that this supersedes your authority, federal government. Therefore, don't come down here and try to enforce your law. The government's going to say, well, we're going to challenge that. An original jurisdiction for such a challenge is at the Supreme Court. It gives you an opportunity to assert the plenary power of the state. That's what the act is about.